Okay, welcome to another Cheap Thrills podcast. Stop laughing, right, okay, this week we have me, Rob, and we have Raven.
Hello.
And we have Graham.
Hello.
And we have Angry James.
Hello! Angry James is back again. He's been locked up all this time in the basement and somebody's let him out.
And now I'm angry like a wasp that's been in an upturned pint glass for half an hour.
That's very angry. On the scale of angry, that's like 9.5.
Yeah. That's pretty damn angry. Okay, right, moving swiftly on.
Hang on, before you go on. This week's podcast has been brought to you by Wes Barry. Wes Barry, proud sponsors of the Cheap Thrills podcast.
Oh, God, is he going to be sponsoring us every week?
It might be, or it might be somebody else sponsoring us. You never know.
Okay, fair enough then. Thanks for that. Right, moving on. This week, it wasn't a massive comic delivery this week. For some reason, a lot of the DC stuff skipped. And it was a deliberate move on DC's behalf, but no.
How dare they?
I know. I was all geared up to buy loads of comics and there wasn't any.
But there's always one week like that, isn't there? And then there's the week after where it's utterly insane.
That is true. So, going through quickly what came out. We have Predator vs. Dread vs. Aliens number 2. I'm really liking this, obviously.
Oh, it's got Dread in
Is
it.
it
Exactly.
Is it doing justice to all three franchises?
No.
Yes. Moving on. We had Titans number 2, which I haven't read yet, but hopefully it's going to continue the whole Rebirth story. Harley Quinn Gang of Harleys number 5. JLA number 8, which is interesting because it's gone back to the old numbering.
I was a bit confused by that.
Right, what's happened is JLA was in the middle of a story.
Right.
Then, annoyingly, they decided to do Rebirth.
But now they've continued.
And then they stopped it. Right? So now there's been a big gap of, well, I say a big gap, there's been a 5-month gap. And they've decided they're going to finish off the story.
So this is
They've
really a
jumped back.
separate series.
Yes, it's
so the Rebirth series is still going on, but they just finish off the last few of this.
Yeah, the way to look at it is you've got Justice League and you have JLA.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much it.
Right.
Either way, both of them are to do with big alien invasions.
Mm-hmm.
We had Poe Dameron number 5, Transformers 56, which is the start of the Revolution story, which is a big crossover between Transformers, G.I. Joe, Action Man,
Mask.
What else? Is there another one? It's all the whole old Hasbro.
I thought you were going to say has been then.
It's all the old has-been stories.
They're bringing out the mask.
Yeah, they're bringing
Yeah,
out.
I did
No,
that.
not the mask. Mask.
No, Mask. Yeah, you don't know that, do you? You're way too young to remember Mask.
I can't remember what the acronym's for. It's Mobile Armoured Strike something or other, I think it is.
That's
It's
just annoying.
1980s cartoon TV series. Look it up. It's,
Mask.
it's really good. Yeah.
I remember saving up all my pocket money in a Abbey National Building Society account and then going over to Toys R Us, which had just opened in Southampton one Christmas, and buying Boulder Hill.
Yeah,
I spent
had
all
that
of
for
my
Christmas.
all of my 2 years of birthday and Christmas money on that, and I've still got it and the box. And it's even still got the boulder, which is like a giant plastic poo.
Yes. that sits on the top.
Yeah.
And then when you push the gun turret up, and you see dung turret.
Dung turret.
You push the
Poo goes everywhere.
Exactly.
That's a completely different playset.
Ah, right, yeah.
God. That didn't take long to deteriorate. It really didn't.
It's James.
Yeah, I reckon
It happens
is,
every
yeah.
time.
It does, yeah. Okay. We also had Rocket Raccoon and Groot, number 8. Deadpool versus Gambit, number 4. Civil War 2 Choosing Sides, number 5. Han Solo, number 3. Teenage Ninja Turtle Universe, which is the start of a new ongoing. It's another IDW title. I like the Teenage Ninja Turtle comics. Have you ever read them, James?
No. I think I've got like a 4th print of the original number 3 or something. Or it might be the first issue actually, like a 7th print of issue 1.
There's a lot
from
of
like
them.
1988 or something. That I glanced through, but other than that, I haven't.
Have you two?
No, I've not read any. Yeah, no.
Because it's quite surprising because I got into it before the films came out, and it's quite a mature title. You know, it's not aimed at kids at all. The reason why, the common misconception for Teenage Ninja Turtles is it's aimed at kids because of the cartoon series. If you actually read the comics, it's pretty violent.
And what about the more recent comics? I mean, I know the original comics that predated the TV series were more adult. And
they were done by
more,
Mirage, I think.
Are the recent ones like that, or are
They're-
they more
no, they're-
in lieu of the?
No, they're pretty good.
Of the cartoon.
What IDW seem to have done is, if you want the original ones, like the Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird ones, this is the comic for you. Here's the more grown-up, violent version.
Have they all got red bandanas like they did in the original one, or have they got the different coloured bandanas?
They change it depending on what team or what creative team is making it.
Oh,
sort of
okay.
thing. But then there is a kiddie Ninja Turtles comic as well.
So
so
the
it's-
TMNT
That's the one,
Adventures.
yeah. Which they're doing a crossover with Batman, actually. But you should try reading it. The actual original comics, they're really good. In fact,
Have they got collections of them that you can buy?
Yeah, there's loads.
We
haven't
What
got
are they
any.
called? We'll have to get some of them in then.
Maybe
If
we
we-
could do that and then review it.
That is true. If you look at the any IDW comics, they put a tree in to see exactly where you go. So there's all the Ninja Turtles, there's Star Trek,
Transformers,
X-Files, and it tells you exactly what order to read them in. But yeah, there's some good stuff on that. And we also got in Guardians of the Galaxy number 11. And that's pretty much what came out this week. It wasn't a massive week.
Is any of that stuff that you've had, and have you read any of it?
No, because I've only just bought it.
Well, hurry up.
Well, somebody hadn't unpacked the boxes
Oh,
because somebody decided to be sick.
It wasn't me.
It wasn't me.
It was
Somebody else.
It was Pushy, and we had to drive 6-inch nails into his bum.
Didn't you put the bag over his head first?
No one's going to know what that reference is, and that's going to make me sound really weird.
You are really weird. Right, we should point out at this point, we're on YouTube.
Yeah.
Hello, YouTube.
YouTube?
Yeah, you're on YouTube. How scary is that?
That's very scary.
And from this morning, from last week's podcast, we had 20 views.
Wow.
That
I
doesn't
can't
mean
believe-
they actually
were they all
listened to it.
Sam, just refreshing it to make sure it worked properly?
Possibly.
2 of them might have been me.
Right, okay, so that leaves 18.
Have we got any subscribers? That's the real...
I don't think so.
Can they leave comments so we can say thank you? And we can just sort of
Yeah, do
go
that.
around personally and knocking on people's door like Joe and Simon.
Right, that's
Bob.
your job. That's your job. Raven can be Jay. And Graham Silent Bob.
You got to get the voice down as well. Then.
It's easy for him.
ladies.
Oh, that's pretty good actually.
Surely Raven should be Silent Bob.
Yeah, but that was the forget
Oh,
it.
right.
Yeah.
That's the joke.
So
Stop
yeah.
trying to be smart and get back.
So yeah, we're on YouTube. I think that's great. We're going to be on iTunes next, aren't we?
Yeah, when I get my finger out of my arse. And then wash my
Is that
hands.
where the iTunes server is? Okay, a few things that were announced this week. Justice League versus Suicide Squad.
Yep.
It's a comic. I'm quite looking forward to this one. It should be good. It's going to be a 6-issue.
Yeah.
Mini-series?
Other things crossing over with it, I understand.
Oh right, so it's a proper event then.
Oh yeah.
And lots of other titles chipping in.
It might be Batman might tie in detective action comics.
Ooh. Okay.
That's what I heard.
To
That's
be
cool.
fair, DC cross everything over at the drop of a hat.
Marvel's worse, I think, for crossovers, aren't they?
How dare you?
They are. Come on, admit it. Marvel will cross over anything.
No.
Yes, they
No, I don't. I
Yeah,
don't think
they
that's
do.
true.
No.
I think the DC are worse.
Yeah, definitely.
And by worse, I mean better. I suppose if you like crossovers, let's not cast aspersions on crossovers. What I mean is, I think DC do more random little crossovers than Marvel do.
I think
Although this
you're
is
wrong.
like this is something that could just be like counted and like it's not really a matter of opinion, is it? It's either a fact or it isn't.
Exactly, and it's my opinion, and I'm right. Well, you two can go with Marvel. Raven and me are going.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying
Yeah, right.
I think DC do.
Anyway, it should be good. Another thing that came out this week was Ben Affleck leaked.
you should go to the doctor about that.
Stop being toilety.
Is that a new word to go in the Oxford English Dictionary?
Toilety, yes.
Toilety.
Yes. Ben Affleck leaked. You saddo. Right, he leaked online.
This is getting
Oh
worse.
yeah, that's where all the kids do it nowadays.
It is. Ben Affleck decided he was going to release some footage of Deathstroke. right? That's either going to be from the Justice League movie, or they might have been doing a character costume test for the Batman movie. We don't know. Did you see this?
I did see this.
What do you think?
I thought initially that it looked like Deathstroke from Arrow.
Well, it is. That's pretty
It's
close
yeah,
to what
it's-
it is. I mean, it's the same
Yeah,
character.
it's the same character, but that's the initial thought that I
Are they going
had
to
made.
try and tie their movie series when it finds its feet into their TV series?
No,
No,
they've said
no,
they're
they're
two
gonna be
completely
different.
separate entities.
Right.
Which I think is a good idea. That's the reason why they've recast the
Superman.
Flash and Superman.
Yeah.
Yes, and the TV Superman looks a bit. What's the word I'm looking for? He always reminds me whenever I see a picture of the new Superman from the Supergirl TV show. He kind of looks like the Superman from The Dark Knight Returns, that's just been blown up in an atomic blast, and all the life has been sucked out of him. He does. I don't know why. But, you know, I like Supergirl. It's a guilty pleasure, so I'm looking forward to that as well. Has anyone else done anything geeky this week?
I had a look at the interweb.
The interweb.
The interweb.
What did you find?
I found that the Strain Series 3 is coming back.
I haven't watched any of that.
Have you not? It's
No.
really good.
I haven't watched either, but I've heard it's good too.
Well, the Series 3 is coming back. It starts on Friday, September the 9th on W.
Is it
Recommend-
based on anything?
Yes, there were, I think it was 3 books, so they're based on those books.
Who wrote them?
Have no idea.
Alright, so it's not like a big
Well, who wrote
Stephen
The Strain?
King
Yeah.
type.
Isn't
no,
it?
it's not.
It's
not
not
Stephen
Stephen King.
No,
Isn't it someone like Stephen King? Like
Stefan King?
could be.
Stephen Queen?
Steve McQueen wrote it. It was written by Steve McQueen.
Oh, that
I have
sounds
no-
pretty cool. I like that.
I have no idea.
Okay.
Look, we've gone through this before.
I'm
My
looking it up
memory
on
is
the
shocking.
internet.
It's a bit sort of vampire-y,
Okay.
but it's sort of crossed with a bit of zombie as
Alright.
well. It's got a few famous people in it as well.
Right.
How many episodes per season? Is it like 22?
It's something ridiculous like that, yeah.
Oh, okay. So there's a fair few episodes already.
Yes,
It's pushing 50 episodes.
I would say yes. It's almost,
All right.
if
Okay.
if
Right.
memory serves me,
Interestingly,
interesting.
the people that make TV series, it was Guillermo del Toro and Chuck Hogan,
Oh, cool.
are the same
I mean-
people that co-wrote the book.
Ah,
So I didn't realise it.
well done.
Guillermo del Toro wrote books.
Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't.
If
Maybe
he's
Chuck
done it,
Hogan
then-
does it under his direction, but I don't know.
Yeah. No, that sounds
Yeah,
cool.
It is really
It's
good.
one of those that I've just never bothered with, but
well,
it's coming back for a third series, so it must be pretty good. It's
is.
like at the moment I'm watching The Americans.
right.
Have you watched this?
No, what's that?
It's set in 1982,
Okay.
1983, and it's about undercover Russian, like sleeper cells.
Oh yeah.
It's really good. I'm
What
really
was that
enjoying
Man
it.
in the High Castle series like? Did that pick
Long
her out?
and drawn out.
Oh right, not
It's good.
interesting then.
No, it is good. It's very interesting and it's very good.
Yeah.
But if you was to take all of the, I think it's 10 episodes,
Mm.
and if you was to take all of the interesting plot points through those 10 episodes, you've probably got about 4 episodes,
Okay.
and the rest of it is just stretched out.
Okay.
It's worth watching,
Yeah.
especially now that season 2 has been
They're
comes out
carrying on with it. Isn't
in
it
a
a
couple
Ridley
of months,
Scott
I think.
thing?
Yes, so it looks fantastic.
Because it's a Ridley Scott adaptation of a Philip K. Dick novel.
Yes,
And it's like an alternate history thing, isn't it, where the Nazis won the war?
yes,
And it's set in the 80s or 90s or something, or the 70s?
No, it might be the 80s.
Yeah.
It's either 70s or the 80s.
But it's the alternate 80s where the
Yes.
Nazis won the war. So it's,
Yes.
it's set in America,
Yes.
but it's Nazi-controlled America.
Correct.
Yeah.
Which I love all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
And I was really excited for it, and then it just got really long and drawn out. But hopefully they'll address that with the second series, and it'll be a lot better.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to it, because you get to the end of the first series, and they like, it's a massive, cliffhanger, and it's a really exciting cliffhanger. So you want to watch the next episode to find out what happens next.
Mhm.
But it's good. It's worth watching. Talking about TV shows, *Halt and Catch Fire* series 3.
I was just about to say that. Yeah, that's just started. I love that. That's right up my alley, that is.
It's
I haven't watched series 3
really
yet.
enjoyable.
I haven't
I'm
watched series
on episode 3.
I have
think.
to say, I preferred the first series to the second series, most because it's the kind of era of computers that I'm most fascinated about. When they kind of drifted into the late 80s with the second series, which is still pretty good. They're going to hit the 90s, I assume, with this series, so it'll be all like
I think this is the end of the 80s.
Okay.
Series 3. So it's sort of like the birth of the internet. You know, the early years of that.
Yeah, so that would be pretty good. But I absolutely love the first series.
It is good.
Really
I'm enjoying it. It's one of those that I watch every week. You know, as soon as a new episode.
The good thing about that is if you're kind of into that sort of computer history stuff, is you spot what all the plot lines and the characters, what their references to real things that happened, and you can kind of see where they're drawing it all from. It's quite interesting.
No, you're just being an uber geek now, aren't you?
Well, you asked me if I was doing anything geeky.
and along the same lines, Series 2 of Mr. Robot.
Oh yeah, that's all right. That kind of
pretty good.
I don't know. I thought it sort of ran into the sand a little bit towards the end of when they finally. Oh no!
You can't do that.
Yeah, it needs to pick up the pace a bit. I'm kind of halfway through the current series.
Series 2?
Yeah, it wants to get its act together, I think.
Yeah, the one I've just watched, it drops a big bombshell at the end of it.
Okay, well I haven't. Yeah,
that they called the Fight Club moment.
What have you just spoiled?
No?
Fight Club and Mr. Robot.
No, that could be anything.
You should edit this out. This mention of. If just mentioning Fight Club completely ruins Mr. Robot.
It's the Battle of the Planets moment. So it could be anything.
Okay.
Graham, have you got a single clue what I'm talking about?
No.
See?
Have you seen Fight Club?
No.
Raven, do you know what I'm talking about?
Hang on.
Hang on. We're gonna have a swear.
Stop. Did you just say you haven't seen Fight Club?
I did say I haven't seen Fight Club.
There's actually steam coming out of your ears.
Why have you not seen Fight Club?
Stop the podcast, Graham. Watch Fight Club right now.
We're closing the shop. Everyone's fired.
Again, for the third time today.
It's never really appealed to me, and I've never got round to watching it, if I'm honest.
Oh, you should watch it. It's really good.
I probably will do at some point.
It's not what it sounds like from the title. It's not
a club and they fight.
Yeah.
Oh, damn it!
Oh, you've ruined it now. You've ruined the twist.
Are you actually allowed to talk about it?
And then watch Mr. Robot, but forget that you've watched Fight Club.
And then watch Battle of the Planets.
Did you know that Battle of the Planets is 32 years old?
Yeah, I can believe that. I thought it would be older than that, because I'm 38 and I can remember watching it when I was 4.
Hang on, I'm going to have to look now, aren't I? I'm sure it was 32. Talk amongst yourselves.
But isn't it older than that? Even older than that?
Well, it was shown in Japan
Yeah,
originally, because that one of the characters from it wasn't
got
actually in the original.
It's got a different title in Japan, isn't it? So the Japanese version's probably older than the
Scientific Ninja Team Gatchaman.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, but
that's like seems like a 1977 sort of thing. They've got
38.
flares and
There you go.
sideburns. It's
38.
38, so it's the same age as me. Yeah, that'd be it. 1978.
Bloody old.
Yeah.
Well, they added that little robot fella in, didn't they, at the beginning
Seven
and
Dark
end?
Seven.
That's the fella. And because they had to cut out a lot of the violence out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So they had to
Because
add in
it
a load of
made-
exposition for
Yeah.
this robot.
Yeah.
Have you watched the live action movie they did
No, when did they make that?
2 years ago?
Oh, right. Crap.
It's alright.
Japanese?
Oh god, yeah. Yeah.
Not that I'm saying that it's crap because it's Japanese.
It's like an adult version of Power Rangers. It was alright.
Yeah. So they're all in rubbery suits. Lots of crash zooms. Or am I being a bit
Yeah.
stereotypical?
Yeah.
Yes and yes.
Yes.
So it's being a bit stereotypical.
Yes. Just like me. Right, anything else come out this week? It's been a bit of a dead week for geeky stuff, actually.
Oh, there was that trailer that was dropped from a Russian superhero film.
I haven't watched that yet.
Have you not?
No. Is it in Russian?
It
I'm
is.
assuming it is, so
What
we can't
is it?
even play it,
So
can we?
it's not called Russian superhero film, is it? Or
No,
is it?
I
Right.
can't remember what it's called.
Something with a load of backwards R's and...
Yeah, that's the fella. And
But-
Zs and
Yeah.
Vs and stuff.
But
Yeah,
again,
it looks like
Revits?
it's...
No, I'm not even going to do that.
It looks like a crossover of like Fantastic Four and Avengers, just completely ripped off, and you've got
Yeah.
Russian superheroes instead. But
So
it does look really good.
I've seen shots of it, but I
Yeah.
haven't watched the trailer yet.
So I'm hoping that they dub it into English.
Oh yeah, they will eventually.
So yeah, it does look really good.
Or the subtitles. You can read, can't you?
Just about. Just about. But I'll have to keep pausing it because I'm a slow reader,
Ah, right.
and then unpause it again.
Fair enough. Raven, did you do anything this week?
No, I've just been playing Battlefield 1 beta. That's all I've done.
Well, talking of computer games, I got loads of I've got like a couple of gaming laptops and and your old computer, Raven, that I'm selling in the shop now, like gaming PCs. And I set them up, and I had to familiarise myself with all current computer games to figure out what they would run and what they wouldn't run. I know, so I had to set up an account for the shop and lot of Steam and Origin and all that, and buy loads of computer games, which was really heartbreaking. But I was playing an Overwatch game that all the kids seem to be into, and
which is free to play next week, apparently.
What, you don't have to buy it?
Apparently for the next week.
Oh right.
There's another thing they do to get people.
40 quid on that. That's fine. But I need a copy of it to demo on the computers and make sure that it runs all right. But it runs like on full flat out graphics on there, and it's all lovely.
So if I bought like a gaming PC.
Yeah, you can buy Raven's PC.
If I bought Raven's PC back off you for what you paid him,
no, for double.
So could I have access to the Steam account for the shop?
No.
Why not?
Because that's not how it works.
Well, you let me come in and read comics.
It's a violation of the terms of service, I think you'll find.
Yeah, why don't you give
I'm a responsible, law-abiding.
Sorry, I tried to keep a straight face then and I couldn't do it.
Don't forget this is going on YouTube.
Not necessarily. Right, okay. I think that's about it. Right, what else did we do? We read The Walking Dead.
Good.
Who wants to go first? We read the first trade paperback of The Walking Dead, which is the first 6 issues.
I have coincidentally actually read that in the past, so I've got some clue about what you're talking about.
Good. So it's written by Robert Kirkman, and the first trade paperback is drawn by Tony Moore. All of the others after that are drawn by Charlie Adlard. Graham, you'd never read it before.
Nope.
Go. What did you think?
I thought the art style was really good, but I know I'm going to upset a lot of people that like Walking Dead. I didn't like it.
Ooh.
Why not?
Well, the TV series follows the first few comics really, really closely.
Well, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the comics came out first, didn't they?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
Right. I'm not a fan of The Walking Dead. I've said before on the podcast, I watched the first series and got bored of it very quickly. So it was basically revisiting those first few episodes of The Walking Dead. And unfortunately, rather than reading it and enjoying it, I started reading it and nitpicking.
Yeah, that's never a good sign.
And it's not a good... No. So
see, that's what I started doing with the Deadpool trade paperback.
Yeah. So I didn't...
And I was desperately trying to enjoy it, but I couldn't.
Yeah, and that's obviously what's happened to me. I didn't enjoy it, if I'm really honest. But it is definitely well drawn, and I can see why people do like it, but it's certainly not for me.
That's fair enough. Raven, what's your opinion?
I enjoy it.
James?
What did you enjoy about it?
The words.
I like they're in English and they're spelt correctly.
And they're in an order.
Yes. I especially like the curvature of the letter C.
I thought that was the worst thing about it.
I'm more of a P man myself.
Yeah. As we've already found out.
I think you have to think about the context of when this came out as well, because this was the thing that started that. All of a sudden, every other comic was a zombie comic.
Yes, there was a
period.
Yeah,
this came out of nowhere, and
it was the only
was
thing
interesting and refreshing.
Yes,
it was like an interesting zombie story, because most of the time they're just the same shit over and over again. But this actually had something interesting going on in it.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, a lot of the good ideas that Robert Kirkman have come up with whilst doing that have been swiped and pilfered by other outlets, whether it's books, comics, TV shows, whatever, and it's diluted what's there. I mean, it is stereotypical to a certain degree. You can only do so much with a zombie themed comic series. But, I've said it before, when people come into the shop and they want to start reading comics, the first thing I say is start reading The Walking Dead, because it is accessible. People know the characters already. Yeah,
it's got the recognition value thanks to the
exactly.
TV series. People go, oh yeah, I know what that is.
Exactly. And if at the time there wasn't a huge amount of trade paperbacks in the series, Now I think we're up to 25, 26.
Yeah.
It's around that. It's quite a big chunk. You know, they do big omnibus editions, but they're like 50 quid each.
Yeah.
400 plus pages. You know, it's a proper...
You can cane it
break
if
the
you
table.
want. Yeah. 50 quid is only the price of like 4 of these.
Oh yeah, it's good money.
Yeah.
It's well worth it. I personally buy the single trade paperbacks, so it's one every 6 months. Annoyingly, if there's a big story going on, it only takes you 10 minutes to read it because it's just action. And if it only takes you 10 minutes to read 6 issues, God knows how long it takes you to read one. One single issue. But it's good. I still buy it now. I still like it. Something that I buy every 6 months and sit down and read the next one and then have to wait another 6 months for the next.
Yeah, just think how the TV fans are enjoying their time.
Well, there's all that content. Are you up to date with The Walking Dead, James?
I watched the first series and I thought that's quite good, and then I watched the beginning of the second series and I thought, it's just turned into a boring bloody soap
Right,
opera
you've
where
now just-
occasionally zombies show
You've
up.
just turned into Adam. Because that's exactly what Adam says.
And then I couldn't be asked. But apparently it picks up again
it
towards
gets a
the
lot
end of the
better.
second series. But
Yeah.
I'd rather just watch Dawn of the Dead over and over again, to be honest.
It's alright. I can relate to that.
And by Dawn of the Dead, I mean Dawn of the Dead, not the remake. Well, the remake's alright.
Yeah.
But
they're
the
okay.
original Dawn of the Dead, I could just watch that all day.
So you've read that one, haven't you?
Yeah.
Number 1. Is that the only one you've read?
Yeah, it probably is, yeah.
Yeah, he gave me all of them, like 24 volumes. Like I read the first 3 or 4 like years ago, and then I stopped. But then I got all of them and just read that for enjoyable, and I kept going. And then I got to this one point where it was around about 15 to 20, something like that. And then it was like, I need to read the next one. And I went through like 5 in one day because it was just so good. Especially when they brought Negan into it. It was like, damn it! I want to go to bed, but I have to go.
It was quite funny because I literally pulled them all off my bookcase and just gave them all to Raven in one go. So there you go, read them. And I still remember what the face he pulled. It was like, I'm never going to read all of those. And like 3 days later, read them.
Well, it didn't actually take long to read either.
No, it doesn't. It's almost like you're reading...
A book?
No, shut up. It's almost like you're reading...
Words.
Shut up. Oh, it's gone out of my head. What they do for movies. Storyboards.
Storyboards.
It's almost like you're reading storyboards
Oh, yes.
for a movie.
Yes.
Okay, you could argue that's what comics are. But
Yeah, to a point.
yeah, exactly. But, you know, you're either going to like it... I mean, a lot of people just don't like zombies, period. But
Well, no, I think with zombies, for me, it's you can only go so far before, like James says, it's the same thing being played over and over
Yeah.
again, just a slightly different scenario and different characters that are screaming and running away from zombies that walk like...
yeah, I know.
I'm sure that, like, in the Walking Dead TV series, like, because I do know odds and ends about what characters and situations come up, and it sounds like there are, you know, they might have some interesting stories because it's more about. I suppose the plot is more about it being like a post-apocalypse sort of like survival thing.
That just so happens to have zombies in
yeah,
it.
and zombies are one of the hazards, sort of thing. And
Yes. That's
so
exactly
there's
what
a,
it's like.
There's a potential, like, I mean, and obviously people really like it, so it probably is quite good. But, like, again, those post-apocalyptic things can go one way or the other. They can either be a boring soap opera that's all about...
Which is what season 2 was.
About some sort of, like, annoying love triangle.
Yep.
Or they can be like Mad Max Fury Road, where it's like loads of crazy sort of like...
Which is
science fiction-y sort of...
Series 4 and 5. Yeah. It does pick up a lot after Series 2. You've got to stick with it. And Adam said exactly the same thing. You know, if you can make it through Series 2 into Series 3, it really starts to pick up.
Yeah.
And it becomes, I've got to watch this. Especially when you're watching it every week. Not so much so when you're binge watching it. Because everything just merges into one, which is what happened with me with Breaking Bad. But it's still, nevertheless, it's worth watching. It is. Wait until they finish making all of them, and then just start from the
Watch it
beginning.
all the way through.
Watch it all the way through.
Have they got plans for how long they're going to make
No,
it for?
they haven't said.
Because originally, I remember a few years ago, him saying that he was going to stop at issue 120 of the comics. But
Yeah.
they've blown through that
We're
now. I
up
mean,
to
they're about nearly 160.
158 is
Yeah.
the next one, I think.
And presumably now there's no hard like limit on when the story's going to stop? Because originally he said, "Oh well, I've figured out the story up to 120, and it's going to like come to a nice conclusion." That'll be it. But obviously,
it's turned into this
juggernaut
massive
now.
juggernaut. Exactly. It's interesting enough. The other creation that Robert Kirkman did, which was Invincible, which is about a superhero. It's pretty good. You know, it's worth reading. We should get some for the shelf. He's just announced that's finishing. I think with 133 or somewhere along those lines. So he's not opposed to finishing stories.
Yeah.
I think he's under pressure from the people that make it, like AMC, to keep it going. They want to.
Let's milk this cash cow.
Yeah, we're making all this money. And it's another reason why they've started doing Fear the Walking Dead, which is a prequel to The Walking Dead, which just isn't very good.
Worse than season 2.
It's pretty
What's
bad.
wrong with it?
Everything. No, it's just we're now more than halfway through series 2, and I don't care about any of the characters. I really couldn't care less, and they're still making daft mistakes. You know, you're in the middle of a zombie apocalypse, everybody's dying, there's horrific things happening around you, so what do? You get drunk and then start playing the piano. You know,
That's my answer to everything.
yeah, I know it's yours, but
That's why we got rid of the piano.
bloody zombies. You know, but it's why are you doing this? You know, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. You know,
Yeah.
so
That's part of the problem I had with reading that trade, was that I could see after watching the TV program and reading that, it was like, oh, why are you doing that? Why have you done this? Why? Oh, no. Just read it. Get to the end, put it down, and
never read it again.
Read it
It's to
again.
the point when someone just messes up and Rick just shoots him. Just for the
That is true. He does, yes.
You can't even just get off for that kind of thing.
Right, that brings us neatly on to we had previews in this week, and one of the items that Raven found in previews, which ties in with Series 6.
My Little Pony.
No,
Oh, sorry. The other page.
of The Walking Dead,
Oh, right.
which I think we should get in.
Right.
One of the characters that they introduce is Negan, which
Okay.
doesn't mean anything to you two, but
Rings a
he's
bell.
sort of like the main, after the governor, he's probably the main protagonist of the comics. Anyway,
Antagonist.
that's the one, and him. And what he does is he's got a baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire.
Okay.
What's it called? Is it Lucille?
Right there.
Everyone's got one of those, haven't they?
Lucille, there you go. And it's Lucille 34-inch replica bat.
That sounds dangerous. It also sounds like something I could make quite cheaply.
By buying some
Challenge
barbed wire
accepted.
and some baseball
But
bats.
this has made in China on it.
And,
Made in the
it's got
Isle
The
of
Walking Dead written on it, which means we could sell it. Honestly,
That looks like something that would be ridiculously expensive.
it is a pleasing choir.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
Too
that's,
expensive.
Yeah, that's
It'll be something stupid, like 75 quid. Or
I trust you.
for a bit of plastic,
But no, it'll be
Someone-
more, it'll be 120 quid.
Someone would buy it.
because it's got Walking Dead
Hang
written
on,
on
I'm
it.
going to look on Diamond's website and find out how much.
That's
it
going to go after season 6 starts.
Oh, there's also a 2-pack of Negan and
costs.
someone
Two-pack
else
and chicken.
who his victim was in the comic, who gets bludgeoned to death.
Just the spoilers.
I'm-
Now we know he bludgeons someone.
Yeah,
He's got a baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire. What do you think he does with it?
and we
Yeah.
know his name's Negan as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Christ
Broadcast on
almighty,
YouTube.
what's going on? Well, I'll tell you what, James. Whatever you find the price of that, I can half it by supplying you with a real baseball bat and some real barbed wire.
Yeah, my dad's got a lathe. We could just get an old branch from down the forest and just turn a baseball bat and then wrap it up in some barbed wire.
You know I want one now, don't you?
All right, well, let's find out how much it's going to cost you.
No, I want you to make me
Don't
one on
see-
your lathe.
Oh, right, okay. And I write made on the Isle of Wight.
Yes. Okay. Was
The Walking
that
Shed.
Yeah.
Right, moving on. What we've got coming in next week. It's a big bumper week for comics.
Should be.
There's loads. Let's go through the highlights. All new, all different Avengers 14. You're getting that on your Graham?
No.
No?
No.
Shaking your head.
No.
Batman number 6. Batman Beyond number 16, which I think's coming to an end. See, the 16 is pretty soon. Should be good.
It's 50 quid, that baseball bat.
50 quid?
Which isn't as ludicrous as I'd anticipated, but no one's going to give us 50 quid for it.
Be surprised.
Not round here. Not in these here parts.
Leave a comment, folks. Tell James how wrong he is.
Alright. And then leave your credit card details. Just to hammer home.
And sort code. And maybe the PIN number.
And your mother's maiden name.
Yeah. Civil War 2 Amazing Spider-Man number 3. Cyborg Rebirth number 1. I'm quite looking forward to that one. Raven?
Cyborg.
Yeah.
As soon as they took him away from the Teen Titans, I'm like, bye.
Yeah. That should be good.
Does he even have any good villains?
No. Can't think of any.
You can't think of any of his villains.
Well, he usually
Does he
just
just
fights
like
with the
hoover up
Justice
the
League.
leftovers of everyone else's villains?
Well, he doesn't... Is this the first time Cyborg's had his own comic?
I think so. The only one.
No, someone gets Cyborg off me already. Like pre-rebirth. I'm
Really?
sure.
Right, DC Universe versus Masters of the Universe trade paperback. I might buy that for myself.
That sounds like a car crash.
I know.
He-Man versus Superman? No, they'd be together, wouldn't they?
Not necessarily.
Skeletor versus
Joker?
the Penguin.
No.
No, wait.
Will win.
Scarecrow, that'd be good.
Skeletor versus Scarecrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be a fair fight because if you look at
I'm pretty sure there's a hilarious combination in there, but we're just not coming up with it off the top of our heads.
yeah, it's not a fair fight because He-Man, they're all incompetent in killing each other because that's what they want to do, but no one's killed anyone. But in Batman or DC, they kill everybody. So
Yeah.
they kind of got the edge here.
That's true.
Yeah, Cyborg had a series running before Rebirth started.
Did it? Deadpool, Mercs for Money, number 3. That's one for you, Graham.
It is one for me.
Is it me or have there been several Deadpool runs and they've all been called the Mercs for Money?
No, this is the second. The first one was a 5-issue limited series,
Right.
and this is the ongoing series.
Mm-hmm. So is this like a Deadpool's got a team sort
Yes.
of thing?
Yeah. No, well, the Mercs and Money, they're all established characters, but some of them have sort of flitted in and out of the Marvel universe and haven't been used very much. Like characters like Fool Killer, Slapstick, Solo.
I hadn't heard of any of them.
No, I hadn't either. But sort of after doing a bit of research, sort of some of them are quite old characters as well. And I think it's they're just sort of hoovering up some of the characters that they had in sort of 70s and 80s.
Characters.
Yeah, and seeing if they'll putting them into a different scenario and seeing whether they work. I mean, I think it is working because you've got Slapstick, Fool Killer, and Solo have all got their own comics coming out.
Yep.
And a couple with Deadpool as well. His popularity is rubbing off on them. And,
Yeah, you never know. It's along the same lines as Venom and Carnage.
Yeah, a little bit like
Carnage become just as popular as what Venom did because Venom was huge.
Yes, yeah. But yeah,
And
the
then the movie killed him.
Mercs for Money now, they're the other Mercs are all changing, and there's sort of new characters coming in. So Domino's coming into the series, so that'll be interesting.
Where does Gwenpool fit into all of this? Nowhere?
No, not really.
Because Gwenpool is something that people are buying. What is it?
Don't know.
Not something that you
Graham,
know. It's
Graham,
not-
you're the
it's not-
Marvel guy. You should know all this.
I'm not the Marvel guy.
You are.
I'm-
Raven,
Okay.
is Graham the Marvel guy?
And everyone else, yes.
yeah, thank you.
you.
Cheers for that. Well,
He's
yeah,
the
well-
X-Men guy. We need,
yeah,
we
I
need
mean,
a slightly broader Marvel guy.
Yeah. Well,
Bigger?
I could be the.
Yeah, just keep
If I,
eating.
if I kept eating a bit. Yeah.
What
Graham's
about
pretty chunky.
what?
Hey, steady on.
What about Civil War? Because you mentioned Civil War 2 Spider-Man is coming out. How much of Civil War have you been reading, Graham? I can't remember what you
Well,
get now.
I've-
Do you get all of it?
No, I've got X-Men Civil War,
Yeah.
Choosing Sides, the main Civil War.
And how's that going?
Well, I haven't seen a Civil War title for a couple of weeks now, so I'm a bit concerned that it's starting to get behind.
The last
Because
issue
the
to come
last-
out was number 4.
Yeah.
Is that the last one that you've had?
Yeah, so
Yeah, I think it's
5
sort
and
of-
6 should be coming out right. Well, 5 should have been coming out maybe a week or two ago, and 6 should be coming out within the next week.
Let's see.
So I don't know whether there's been a delay on it.
But
Yeah, I mean,
not wanting to be Marvel bashing,
No.
but they do tend to slip quite a lot with their dates.
There are. Sometimes it does
September
happen.
the 21st, number 5 is coming out, so that's another 2 weeks.
Jesus Christ!
3 weeks, nearly.
I mean, that should have been out already. 5.
Well, is it waiting for other crossover parts to go? You know, where it's a crossover, it needs to wait until the crossover parts have come out.
Well,
So
I would have thought not, because if Marvel got their act together and they know what's got to be sent out the door first, and they know that these 3 titles need to be sent out before issue 5 does, you'd have thought that they'd have got them out. So whether there's a delay in that particular book, or whether there's been a delay in something that has to come out before it, not sure. I've not read anything that says this has been delayed or.
Have you read it up to date though?
Yes.
And how does it compare with the original Civil War in terms of? Because the original Civil War was really interesting.
Yeah. This one is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good story,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not as good as the first one. And that's not bashing the second one. That it's just that the first one was better.
Yeah.
And that there was a heck of a lot more that was involved in that as well. I mean, if you read all the little bits and pieces that go along with it, I mean, you're looking at over 100 different titles that have got something to do with the Civil War 1.
Yeah.
This one seems to have been scaled down a little bit more, so there isn't quite as much peripheral storylines going on through all the different titles, because it seemed like the first one, every single title had something to do with Civil War, whereas this one doesn't. It's just, right, you've got Civil War, you've got Choosing Sides, you've got X-Men Civil War, Gods of War, a little bit in Deadpool, a little bit in Spider-Man, and
there's that
a lot of the
Kingpin
other
title as well that no one seems to be buying. Has that
there's
got
that one.
anything important in it? No one knows because no one's buying it.
No, probably not, no.
Presumably it involves Spider-Man a fair bit.
It's
And
more...
maybe some Daredevil.
There's a bit of
Do they even
Punisher.
have a Daredevil title out at the moment?
There's Punisher. There
is a
that's
Daredevil
in that
title.
one, yeah.
There's Daredevil and Punisher.
No, there is a Daredevil title.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, there is one. It's up to issue 12, I think.
Oh, okay. No one really... I can't remember.
I know,
There was one guy that used to buy Daredevil off.
I don't know. It's really weird that you've got these really popular characters like TV shows, like Daredevil, and they've just introduced the Punisher in series 2, and they just don't do the comics. They've only just started doing a Punisher comic, and they're just not going on with the hype. It's like
Is there a Jessica Jones comic out at the moment?
only just.
Yeah.
There's a new one that was in last month's previews, I think.
Right.
So the thing is, I think with all the rebirth that's come up with DC, I think Marvel's been pretty much forgotten. So there's, it just sort of seems to be just clicking on nicely. People are buying the comics. There doesn't seem to be any big explosion of things that are going on. I don't think that Secret Wars did what they wanted it to do.
No.
I think it turned a lot of people off. It certainly didn't capture my imagination too much. I mean, I carried on buying all the X-Men related titles and things that I thought I might be interested in, but it certainly wasn't. If you look back to the original, Marvel superhero Secret Wars, it was in '84, I think it was. It was like, what the hell's this? It was taken.
Wasn't it like their first big crossover?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it was the big storyline.
Toy line, wasn't it? Really?
Yeah, it was that. I think there was also different cartoons that were being done at the same time as well. But it was one where all those characters were taken out of the normal timeline and stuck onto Battle World, and it was original, and people were sort of blown away by it.
Introduced Black Spider-Man.
Yeah, this one, it was like, okay, right, well, they've ended the Marvel Universe. Now they've got all these limited series that have come out, and then the Marvel Universe kicks off again, and a lot of what went on beforehand is the same, and there's other bits that are different.
Oh, did Secret Wars 2 reboot the continuity?
No, there was a Secret Wars 2 that was in 85,
Right.
86, I think, and then this one is a new, completely different thing. But it was supposed to kickstart the Marvel Universe again and get rid of a lot of the alternate.
So they were just pruning.
Yeah, pretty much.
Timelines.
Yeah,
basically.
yeah, and I don't think it really did what they wanted it to do.
I think that was what the New 52 with DC. That's pretty much what happened with them. They wanted it to reboot everything, and it didn't.
No.
They kept a load of convoluted storylines that they shouldn't have. They should have just gone, boom, that's it, finish.
No, what?
But certain characters did finish and start again fresh, and other ones carried on the continuity, and it just didn't work. Which hence why we've now got Rebirth, where they've reintroduced a load of stuff that they shouldn't have deleted in the first place.
Well, yeah, that's the thing with Rebirth. What it's done is it's addressed things for those long-standing comic book fans that have been buying comics for year on year on year, because we all know that as comic book businesses, they're going to want to sell comics.
Yeah.
They're not just going to churn any old crap out and expect people to buy it. It has to. Well, that's the part of the problem is that they do on certain things, and some people quite enjoy that. And they want a bit of excitement every now and again with a crossover or something that changes the continuity slightly. But on the whole, comic book fans are pretty loyal with the characters that they like reading.
Yes.
They don't like too much change, as it were. So if you turn around and sort of you do something really drastic with Batman, a lot of the old standing comic book readers are going to go, no, I don't like this, and they're going to put it down, and then they're not going to pick it up again. Whereas, when you do things like New 52, Secret Wars, where you change lots of different things and lots of continuity, it's going to turn more people off than it does get people into comic book shops and buying comics.
Yeah. We were talking about Deadpool, Mercs for Money, number 3. How did we get onto that?
I have no idea.
I brought up Civil War.
I'm just climbing off my soapbox.
Yes.
I brought up Civil War and we sort of went off down a crossover reboot.
Right, back to the list. Escape from New York trade paperback number 2. Did you read the first one, James?
No. Is it worth reading?
I don't know, I haven't read it. That's why I'm asking you.
Oh, okay. What's we got? Volume 2 coming in.
Volume 2 is
volume
coming
1.
in. I haven't even seen Volume 1.
Oh, right. Okay, well, I'll order Volume 1 then. That might be why I haven't read it.
Probably.
Never had it.
Flintstones issue 3. I haven't read any of those yet, but I will. They'll be worth getting the trades in when they're available. Green Arrow number 6. That's one for Raven. Harley Quinn number 3. Justice League number 4. Nightwing number 4.
9.
No, that's Justice League.
There's 2. There's
JLA is number 9.
Yeah.
Serenity hardbacks, volumes 1, 2 and 3.
Yeah, I figured there's a comic series coming out soon, so...
Yes.
Bosh.
Yes. I think that's something we should
The
try
last
and
time a Serenity comic
keep.
came out, we had 9 people ordering it, and most of them were just randoms.
Yes.
Like, not people that normally get
We
stuff.
need to keep those on the shelf,
Yeah.
I think.
Do you often call customers random?
That's him being pleasant.
Oh, right, okay.
We also have Spawn Origins.
Yeah,
The
that
first
was
3.
on your recommendation. That
It's
people have been asking about Spawn.
someone wanted volume 1, and there's a lot of them. Spawn's been going since Image started, which was 96,
5.
yeah, around that.
Yeah, mid-90s.
Yeah, maybe 93. Anyway, arguably the most popular Image character.
Arguably the only popular Image character. What were the other
Well,
ones?
it depends. You know, you have the Youngblood.
Is Walking Dead Image?
Yeah.
It is. Well, I suppose it's not a character.
Well, it's changed from what it was. When Image first started, it wasn't anything like it is now. Now it's always been a creator-controlled
Yeah.
company. But when they first started, it was all the main big superstar artists of the time, whether it's Todd McFarlane, Eric Larson, Jim Lee, Rob Liefeld.
Oh,
and
Savage Dragon.
That's right. So they all wanted more money from Marvel, and Marvel said no. If you don't like it, quit. So all of them quit and set up their own studio.
I know that pan out for him in the end.
Pretty good, I think. Savage Dragon is still going. Spawn is still going.
Spawn's one of
Yeah,
a
those
small
titles
group
are-
of comics that are still on their original numbering.
Yeah, that's true. Jim Lee is now vice president of DC Comics.
Yeah.
And DC bought all of the Wildstorm comics that he dreamt up. So all the Wildcats, Union, Gen 13, they're all part of the DC universe, which they'll be bringing back pretty soon because there's going to be a Wildstorm imprint
Oh, okay.
at DC. So.
Oh, is that... Weren't they replacing the Vertigo imprint with something?
Yeah, Young Animal.
That's what they're calling the imprint.
Yep. So
why are they
things like,
doing that?
don't know.
What does it mean, Young Animal?
I don't know. Don't Google it. But a thing like Doom Patrol, I think Animal Man.
Right.
Isn't that Johnny Norris?
No, you're showing your age there. So yeah, they're all part of Young Animal, but give it another couple of months and we'll get Wildstorm as well. yeah, all of those people kind of like drifted off and did their own thing.
Mm-hmm.
And Image ended up being what it is that we know now. Right, what else? Supergirl number 1, I quite enjoyed the Rebirth title. I'll probably pick that up. Superman number 6, which I'm really enjoying at the moment. Superman. You should read Superman, James. It's good.
I will. I'm kind of intending to read a load of this Rebirth stuff when it gets to, like issue 6s are out and you've got a complete arc of everything.
Issue 6 of Superman is out next week.
Ooh. I mean, there'll be the first wave of
trade paperbacks.
Yeah.
I'll
read when the trade paperbacks come through.
Yeah.
But how well are all these different Rebirth titles tying into? Because I know the basic premise of Rebirth is the Flash has escaped from his little purgatory thing that he ended up stuck in, that made New 52 happen in the first place. The Flashpoint thing.
No.
Oh, I thought that went into the stick.
Yes. The Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yeah.
The Flash disappeared. Kid Flash disappeared. This is in the 80s.
Right.
Wally West.
But then, what happened in Flashpoint then? Because I thought this was...
Flashpoint was Barry Allen, where that was the beginning of the New 52.
Yeah. See, I thought this was tying back into that situation.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
No. Crisis on Infinite Earths in the 80s.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Right? Wally West, Kid Flash, disappeared.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Hasn't been seen since.
Yeah.
It's one of the questions that they always get asked at conventions, when you bringing Wally West back?
Mm-hmm.
So they've done it.
Yeah.
So he's come back into our universe.
Yeah.
And people have started to remember things.
Yeah. But isn't this what happened in Flashpoint?
No. Flashpoint, everything changed.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah. But didn't it change because the Flash
went back in time and saved his mother?
Yeah. And then did he not
he created an alternate reality.
Right.
Where only he remembered.
Yeah.
So Bruce Wayne wasn't Batman.
Right.
Bruce Wayne died and Thomas Wayne became Batman.
Yeah.
So it completely altered the timeline.
Yeah.
Then you get to the end of Flashpoint.
Yeah.
And he does whatever he does to fix it.
Yeah.
And that's what created the New 52.
Yeah, that's right. But this isn't him coming back and...
No, this is Wally West coming back from
and
the
whatever happened to Barry Allen at the end of Flashpoint then?
He remembered.
He still remembers there, and he didn't disappear.
No. He still remembered. So he remembers the old pre-52,
right?
I believe.
So
I think
Wally West has come back.
Wally West has come back
in the 80s.
Everyone's kind of realising something's up.
Mm-hmm.
Batman. Well, if you've read the Rebirth one shot, you'll know that
I have.
He knows something's wrong, and he's doing tests.
Mm-hmm.
On certain objects to figure it all out.
Mm-hmm.
There hasn't been any major reveals in any of the comics. They're hinting at certain things, but there hasn't been a definitive, oh my god, this is the next part of the puzzle.
Oh, now I remember what happened at the end of that Rebirth special.
So it hasn't really advanced the story too much. You've just got tiny little things in different comics
you've set up what all the existing characters are up to, basically.
Yes.
Established where they are.
Yes.
And then they can move on to engaging with the end of that one shot.
Jim Lee said that he's got a 2-year plan.
Okay.
So at the end of 2 years' time, well, it'll be a year and a half now, we'll know more about what happened or the reason why it happened in Rebirth.
Okay.
But there's little tiny things. But all the whole run, every single title they've done, and there's been a fair few now over the last 3 months, 4 months.
Totally. Yeah.
I reckon 95% of them have been fantastic.
Oh, that's good.
Hence why I've been buying them all. There's been a few that I just haven't enjoyed, but I've never really liked the characters. I mean, I've read them anyway just to have an input. But yeah, as a whole, they've stepped it up.
Well, I mean,
across the board.
In the sales for July, I mean, DC are outstripping Marvel massively with all the different titles.
Yeah. What has helped is going bi-weekly. Definitely. Because like Graham said earlier, if you've got someone and they're invested and they're loyal to that character, it doesn't matter if it comes out monthly or if it comes out bi-weekly, they're buying it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And the level of the art and the writing, it's just been brilliant. I don't remember the last time I was this excited about comics.
Right.
Which is pretty
for
exciting for me.
Trouble is, if you get these big DC crossovers, there's the various crises,
Yes.
and then there's like, where does the Green Lantern-y stuff fit in? Like Blackest Night and Brightest Day and that. Does that fit in with this stuff in an important way, or is it a sideline?
It's sort of a sideline.
Because it's the outer spacey stuff.
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily...
cosmic.
Yeah, and then you get your Flashpoint and the Rebirth.
Yeah.
If you just took the main graphic novels of the main mini-series of those events and then read them all in order, would it at all stitch together, or would you need to read loads of side stuff to get
It would stitch together to a certain extent.
Yeah.
I mean,
obviously you're
of the-
jumping years of story, but
Yeah.
like if you read like Crisis on Infinite Earths and then you read whatever's next, like Identity Crisis or something, or is there something in between those two?
I've lost track.
'Cause that's
of how many
like
crises.
that's
there are.
like 30 years. That's a 30-year jump. There's probably something in between.
Okay. The only other thing we've got coming in next week that's interesting is we've
Me.
Everything you've got coming in is interesting.
no, I won't go that far. Crossed trade paperbacks,
Right?
which I know I'm the one that made you order them,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm sure that I can actually sell them.
That's fine. See that you do.
I'm going to get Graham to read Crossed Volume 1 so we can review it on another podcast. If The Walking Dead is too violent for you and too disgusting, you don't want to read Crossed. I'm looking forward to you reading it.
What's the premise?
Of Crossed,
Yes.
very quickly, there's like a virus outbreak, as there always is. It doesn't kill you. What it does, it burns a cross into your face, right? And it removes all of your morals.
Right. Okay.
And that's it. And then it's what happens to society.
I
There's
think
no
I think
like...
it goes a little bit further than removing morals, because it's not like
Well,
they're amoral. It's like they're actively sadistic and evil.
what he said, yeah. It's the worst thing you can think of isn't anywhere near how bad this is.
Well, when you told me to read it, I thought it'd be way worse.
Yeah, you might be overselling how hideous it is, but
It's really hideous!
yeah,
As you know.
I don't like it.
I'm
And I'm a disgusting animal.
I'm wondering what that says about Raven.
I know. I like the parents.
Yeah, I do, and all.
Yeah.
Right, so next week who chose this, by the way?
Oh, I did.
Raven, right. Well done, Raven. Next week we will be reading Spider-Man Deadpool. Isn't it romantic?
Romantic.
Is it
But-
romantic? Oh,
Yeah, it's
bromantic.
bromantic.
Yes.
It's the bromance of Spider-Man and
Isn't it
Deadpool.
bromantic?
He said we should do a Marvel one. I said Spider-Man, and then I said,
Yeah.
which is a good Spider-Man story, and we both went, I don't know. So I had two characters in.
Okay, so we're going to read that and we'll review that next week. I'm not looking forward to it because it's got Deadpool in it, but there you go.
Oh, shut up.
Just read all the Spider-Man bits and then watch the Deadpool movie.
Oh, I could do. Yeah, that's a good idea. We'll do that. Right, I think that's about it. Have you got anything else to add? Ramble about?
No.
No? Good. Raven?
No.
No?
No.
Good. Right, so we've all finished then. Yay! Okay, so see you next week then.
Bye.
Bye. See ya.